This is Compose Your Comeback. Real stories, real resilience. Because when life knocks you down, the only way forward is to get back up. Today I want to share a story of true resilience. But it's not about me, it's about my son. A child who wakes up every day to a world that wasn't designed for how his brain works and still finds the courage to keep going. Through his journey, I've come to realize something powerful, that resilience isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's staying in the room, trying again, smiling after a setback. That's the kind of strength I've learned from him. And this is what Compose Your Comeback is all about. My son has a diagnosis for autism, for ADHD. He has a global development delay. He had issues with everything from speech and language, walking, swimming, riding a bike. School is so much more difficult for him. He had what was called a statement here in the UK. Things have changed slightly now with the terminology, but basically he gets one-to-one support to be able to essentially put him on a more even platform with the people in his class. He requires that extra support, not just academically, but also to help him with his emotions, to ensure he's not getting frustrated, because this was the major issue that we were having in school. He would go to school and end up feeling incredibly sad. I would say at one point, borderline depressed, that he was there not understanding anything. He was genuinely sad and frustrated. And that frustration would turn into lashing out, to either throwing the work, to being silly, to being utterly despondent. And it was breaking my heart every single day, to the point where I considered homeschooling. What did I have to do to make this better? I can tell you as a teacher as well, I look at these children who come into my class and I make absolutely no judgments on them. I do not know where they have come from, the things that they have had to endure in their short lives, and the things ahead of them. My job is to try and look at them as individuals, to try and boost them as people, to give them the tools and the techniques to go forward in life and hopefully thrive. In my 30s, I was diagnosed with ADD, something I had lived with my entire life. But what I've come to understand is this. Maybe because I felt some of what he feels, I can meet him with more patience, more understanding, and less judgment. I know the overwhelm. I know what it's like to feel out of step with the world. And instead of asking why him or why me, I focus on what now. What can I do today to help him feel seen, safe, and strong? Every day I can wake up and try to inspire him, to try and show him a world that is caring. Because we have been there in restaurants where everyone else is being quiet and my son is running around or tapping the table, throwing something, and everyone is looking at you as if you are crazy, like you are the worst parent in the whole world, and it sucks the life out of you. You start making these decisions like, right, let's not go out for food anymore, let's not do this, let's not do that, and your life is getting less rich, your child's life is getting less rich because you're worried about the way society looks at you. But that is on them. That's not on you. The way that people decide to look down on you is a reflection entirely of them. And, you know, if they've had children who have not struggled with anything in their lives, then that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. All children struggle with something. But if they perceive their child to be utterly normal and decide to look down on you because you are doing your absolute best, shame on them. You are a damn hero. You wake up every day and you have no idea what's going to be thrown at you, both physically and metaphorically. But you know what? You have a child who is utterly unique, who sees the world differently. My son's imagination is incredible. It's way past anything I've ever had. And I am so proud of the way that he endures things that other people find easy. He endures that suffering of trying to catch up or be the same as, and I know that society makes him feel sad at times, but I'm going to do everything I can to lift him, everything I can to make sure that he one day lives this independent life where he can have a family, where he can live on his own with his people, whoever he decides that is, and he can go out and spend money and make money and have a job and contribute in whatever great way to this world that he wants to do. And your child can do the same. Now, if none of this applies to your life, you're welcome to click away at this point. No pressure. But if you're still here and this sounds a little too familiar, if you're deep in the trenches just trying to find something that works, then here's what's helped me. And maybe, just maybe, it will help you too. What does ADHD and autism actually mean? ADHD is a neurodevelopmental condition. It affects attention, impulse control, emotional regulation, and executive function. The brain's ability to plan, organize, and follow through. Children with ADHD may be forgetful, fidgety, impulsive, easily distracted, but they may also be creative, passionate, and full of energy. Autism is also neurodevelopmental, but the difference is that it affects how a person processes the world. It can influence social interaction, communication styles, sensory sensitivities, and patterns of behavior. Autistic children may need routines. They may find it hard to read social cues or become overwhelmed quickly in busy settings. But they are also deeply loyal, observant, and beautifully unique. About half of autistic children also have ADHD, and many children with ADHD display autistic traits. It's a mix of hyperactivity, deep focus, sensory needs, and social challenges, all in one child. These children are often the last to be diagnosed. Why? Because there is an overlap. It is messy. You're not just a parent. You're a project manager, a therapist, an advocate, a warrior. And still many days it feels like you're barely keeping your head above the water. Now let's get really practical. Create a routine. Visual schedules are amazing. Checklists, timers, they all help children to anticipate what's coming. Predictability has been shown to reduce anxiety, and they can be your best friend in helping children who have complex needs to feel safe and more in control of what is happening around them. Use sensory tools, noise-cancelling headphones, fidget toys, weighted blankets, chewable necklaces. Every child has a preference. Find what calms your child and use it unapologetically. Praise effort, not just outcomes. A great line that we use all the time in school is, "You have worked so hard on that." This is so much more powerful than "you're so clever." It builds resilience. Break those tasks into steps, one instruction at a time. Chunk things into small goals. Success breeds confidence. Prepare for transitions. Use visual cues. First, we brush our teeth. Then we read. Give 5-minute warnings before changes. This is incredibly helpful. And in a classroom environment, children are so used to it. But at home, we rarely implement anything even vaguely similar. Regulate yourself. Easier said than done. But your calm, relaxed demeanor can help regulate the chaos. I know it's not easy, but it's vital. Advocate without shame. If your child needs adjustment, say so. You're not being difficult. You are being brave. Connect with others. There are countless support groups, parent forums, professionals who understand neurodiversity. You are not alone. In an earlier video, I talked about how we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day, and over half are negative. Let that sink in a moment. Now imagine your child navigating a world that constantly tells them they're wrong, they're too much, they're too loud, they're too slow. What they need is a voice that says, you are enough. Let that voice be yours. Let it be steady. Let it be kind. Let it be relentless. Because when you rewrite the story they hear about themselves, you help them to believe in a different future, a future where they don't have to fit that same mold that they see all around them. They can break it and still belong. But here's what I want to finish on. The love you pour in is more than enough. Even on the days when you feel like you're falling so short, you're not. Even when you're tired, overwhelmed, or doubting yourself, your consistency is strength. Your presence is power. I wish you and your family all the very best with all that you do. You are a hero.